such a huge gathering and doing a PowerPoint presentation. But at the end, and also please bear with me if you find it little longish, but at the end of the day, each one of you will have food for thought. You will, and there would be takeaways for everybody in terms of the ideas for the entrepreneurs, for the startup people, for the investment guys, the bankers. Everybody will get to have some ideas out of it. So you just heard the video, and my colleagues also made some remarks that 2023 was declared as International Year of Millets. So what happened was that in 2018, there was a national mission for millet in India. So it was in 2018, Government of India celebrated National Year of Millet. And it was in 2018 that we introduced this proposal to Food and Agriculture Organization, which was readily accepted, supported by 70 countries. And the United Nations General Assembly then declared 2023 as the International Year of Millet. So why is this celebration? Celebration is a people's movement so that Indian millets, recipes, and value-added products are accepted globally. So what has the Food and Agriculture Organization Director General has to say, and I quote, "Millet can play an important role and contribute to our collective efforts to empower smallholder farmers, achieve sustainable development, eliminate hunger, adapt to climate change, promote diversity, biodiversity, and transform agri-food system." So this slide is very important, and there are 6 key messages in this slide. And all the 6 messages are in conformity of the 6 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So the goal number SDG 2, which is called Zero Hunger, SDG 3, Good Health and Well-being, SDG 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, SDG 12, Responsible consumption and production, SDG 13, Climate Change, and SDG 15. So the key messages, as you can see in the screen, I don't want to repeat it, but sustainable cultivation and support of climate resilient agriculture. Millet can fight hunger. It is a healthy diet. It gives opportunities to small and marginal farmers. It has nutritional benefits, and it creates trade diversity and in the global food supply chain. So here is the aim of International Year of Millet: to elevate the awareness, enhance investment, and inspire stakeholders. As I said, in 2018, Government of India came out with a notification, and we celebrated our India's Year of Millet. Before 2018, millets were termed as coarse cereal. Coarse because it has rough edges. But in that notification, we redefined it and said as nutri-cereals. So now it is called nutri-cereals, not as a coarse cereals. And 2018, Government of India is doing a sustained effort to bring back the value and the relevance of millet. So these are some millet facts. It is the first domesticated cereal cultivated in Asia for the first time 4,000 years ago. And that's why it is called ancient grain. So here is the snapshot of the various 7 broad millet, and there are many other family, barnyard, little millet, kodo millet, finger millet, foxtail millet, pearl millet, and jawar. Some samples are there for you to have a look and feel also. And I don't want to repeat it, but again, the earliest evidence is about 3000 BC of millet being sown, grown in about 131 countries globally, and traditionally, millet traditional food for 590 million people globally, primarily in Asia and Africa. Let's watch the video. This is a video of Food and Agriculture Organization. 100 folds during the COVID pandemic, because everybody wanted to have some kind of immunity, and that gave a boost to consumption of millets. Aids in digestion, reduces one's body weight because it has low calories, having ideal for weight management. Millet for mom. This is a very important slide, and all ladies and mothers should be proud of the benefits of millets. Good source of calcium, iron, essential vitamins and minerals. Gives dietary fiber, delicacy, healthy, and few other benefits. This is the bane of the modern age living. Everybody is either type 1, type 2, diabetic. We all keep on eating junk food, don't do exercise, regular exercise, especially India is a large population of diabetic people. So that is one of the main reasons why government has started promoting this in a big way. It maintains blood sugar. Let's go into the global scenario of millets and what is the India's story. We produce about 17 million metric tons of millet, which is 80% of Asia's production. Our per hectare production matches with the global kind of thing. In fact, we are 10 kilograms ahead of the global average, and we are the largest producer of the millet. But being a largest producer doesn't mean that we are the largest exporter, because the domestic consumption itself is such a huge that a lot of is consumed internally. USA, I read another piece in Hindu Times where they said that America is the largest exporter of millets. Staple grain for poor farmers, it can be grown in hotter and drier regions. That's the reason why it is grown in lot of countries in Africa as well as Asia. 93 countries are the main producers, and 26% of the world millet growing areas are in the 83% of Asia's millet cropping areas, and India has the largest share in that. So this slide gives you a reference how the millet has an immense potential in India. If you see, the production and value of the millets have increased over the last 5 years. And I just mentioned to you that COVID-19 has driven up the demand for nutrition-dense foods. Global millet market has grown from 9 billion to 12 billion by 2025. It will grow by that amount. And the ready-to-eat millet-based food, ready-to-cook products are witnessing a rapid growth in India, and here lies the opportunities for companies, businesses, and entrepreneurs. And of course, we have with us very prominent individuals, the co-founders of Nature's Path, and hope they will, and other business people here will try to bring some value-added millet products in their portfolio. India scenario. You see the map of India. So the major millet producing states are Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. These are the five major ones. And then we produce 80% of Asia's production. And India has recorded 27% growth last year compared to the previous year. And the other figure we have already seen and talked about. So some new emerging states where millet has been introduced after Prime Minister's initiative in 2018, and various initiatives taken by Odisha, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh, and Assam, which are the new areas for millet growth. You can see that in the slide. This slide gives you the country-wise production and share of millets. So you can see that India is 41%, followed by Niger, Nigeria, Mali, China, Ethiopia, Senegal. So you can see that a lot of African countries, apart from India, are into millet production. Now, the most important section of the presentation is to know about various millets, different types of millets. I have listed 9 different types of millets, and each millet slide will have the nutritive value of each millet and the health benefits. Bajra, also called the pearl millet in English. I don't want to read it out, but you can see the health benefit. Dietary fiber, anti-cancer properties, reduces blood pressure, rich in vitamin E, protects body tissue, stomach ulcers, antioxidant, iron, and zinc. Foxtail millet, also known as in Hindi Kangni or Koralu millets, improves metabolism, controls cholesterol, supports immune system, boosts cardiac health. Jawar, also known as sorghum in English, and health benefit, low glycemic index, dietary fibers, helps in muscle development, so all the bodybuilders can consume it, strength training, inhibits tumor formation, protein content is high, antioxidants, energy booster, colon cancer, it prevents. The little millet. In Hindi we call kutki, again rich in vitamin B, improves low body mass, reduces bad cholesterol, high fiber content. Ragi, the most common millet, I think we all have seen it. You can make poha out of it for holistic breakfast food. Calcium content is high, fights anemia, good for pregnant women, reduces bad cholesterol. Porso millet, again rich in protein, prebiotic, supports nervous system, and good for gut health. Barnyard millet maintains lipid levels, manages metabolic disorder, good for diabetic again, reduction of blood glucose levels, helps in production of hemoglobin, excellent source of protein and fiber. Kodo millet supports in aiding the weight loss, strengthens nervous system, fights cancer risks, regulates blood pressure, easy to digest. Brown top millet, good for diabetes, supports weight loss, lowers risk of cardiovascular disease, among others. So, how is India trying to do it? So we have a policy structure in place, and different ministries, departments, and institutions are involved in it. There are 7 sutras or 7 pillars for our effort to make India becoming a global hub for millets. First is awareness creation, branding, labeling, and promotion. This event can also come under awareness creation, as well as international outreach of millets. Item number 4, which Ministry of External Affairs amongst Commerce Ministry and APEDA has been tasked with. Then nutrition and health benefits, value addition, processing and recipe development, entrepreneurship, startup, collective development, public distribution, No, enhancement of production and productivity and policy intervention for mainstreaming millets. So the orange ones are various line ministries or departments which has been tasked to implement the various pillars. This is a big opportunity, as I said, for the entrepreneurs, for the investors, and for the startup companies. And Canadian companies should look into it very seriously to invest in the millet ecosystem, because it has a very robust objective. Investing in millet ecosystem provides an opportunity to the investors to create an impact on society and the environment while leveraging the ever-increasing demand for nutritious food and to cater to the food security challenges. Because of the various reasons, increasing acceptance towards healthy and nutritious food, trends like gluten-free, low GI, high fiber, it takes relatively less amount of water, so we are supporting the environment. Finger millet, for example, just needs 350 mm of water. If we compare with wheat, which takes 650 mm. Sorghum, for example, takes 400 mm of water. Compare it with rice, which takes 1250 mm. Maize, for example, 500 mm. So millets require the lowest amount of water as compared to other cereals, which is the mainstream here in this. So consider the importance. We will contribute immensely to the global health by conserving water, which is becoming scarce commodity these days. And a lot of you do CSR activities also. So investment in millet ecosystem will support and impact small marginal farmers in India and other parts of globe, including Africa. So we are not behind this. I think a lot of startups around millets have been formed, 500 startups already in the value chain. We have a specialized body, Indian Institute of Millet Research, which has incubated 250 startups. Government of India is funding startups by giving incentives. Startup spread across the entire value chain: primary processing, breakfast, millet coffee, pizza flours, porridge, flakes, puffs, etc. So these are some of the key resources for people who want to learn more about millets, want to experiment and have various kinds of cuisine. So there are links to that also. Nutri Cereals, International Year of Millets page of Government of India, FAO page of International Year of Millet 2023. So international recipes is also there. It's not that only Indian recipes can be created out of millet. Today we will not be serving Indian recipe. It is mainly international recipe. So you can play with the various millets, and domestic Indian recipe link is also here. So this is my last slide. I'd like to bear with you. I'll play a song in commemorating the rich in heritage, full of potential International Year of Millet. And this song is in Hindi. प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी की अगुवाई में भारत सरकार के आह्वान पर संयुक्त राष्ट्र संघ ने 2023 को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मिलेट्स वर्ष घोषित किया है। सरकार ने मिलेट्स यानी पोषक अनाज को प्रोत्साहन देने के लिए कई कदम उठाए हैं। साथ ही मिलेट्स के प्रति जागरूकता अभियानों के कारण आम जन में मिलेट्स और इससे बने उत्पादों के प्रति रुझान भी बढ़ा है। हमारे किसान भाई बहन मिलेट्स का उत्पादन कर कम लागत में ज्यादा मुनाफा हासिल कर सकते हैं। अपनी आमदनी बढ़ाइए, अपने खेतों में मिलेट्स अनाज उगाइए। मिलेट्स को घर घर पहुंचाना है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मिलेट्स वर्ष मनाना है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मिलेट्स वर्ष मनाएंगे। कृषि एवं किसान। Thank you, and hope you would have found some inspiration from this presentation. At least each one of us can adopt eating millets in our daily diet. And a lot of corporate people are here. So whenever you do a party, try to have something made out of millet to be served at least. And of course, a lot of investors, bankers, venture capitalists are here in this room. So think of finding a way to start an ecosystem, support it. I'll end here and thank you very much for your patience and attention. Let's move on to the next item on our agenda this evening. I have the pleasure to introduce Aaron Stephens. Aaron is a passionately helped pioneer the organic movement in Canada for over 50 years. He has opened the first vegetarian restaurant in 1967 in Canada. In 1971, he opened a natural food store and began distributing organic food. In 1985, he, along with his wife Ratna, founded Nature's Path. So this is a family enterprise which is involved in farming, processing, and sharing organic products worldwide. He has got a lot of awards and recognition, and an important one of them are last year, or in 2021, he got Order of British Columbia. Before that, he was BC Laureates Hall of Fame. He has won the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2002. He is a prolific writer. He has written a lot of books, which is Luminous in 1999, Moth and the Flame, an online book, Compassionate Diet, How What You Can Eat Can Change Your Life and Save the Planet. He is currently, along with his wife, co-chairman of the Nature's Path. In free time, he does organic farming and a very avid painter. He has India connection, and I would like to share with this. His paternal great-grandfather was Lieutenant General J.M. Cripp of the Bengal Staff Corps. In 1968, when he went for a study in India, he studied under Sant Kripal Singh. And there, through his Sant Kripal Singh, he met Ratnaji. On 4th March 1969, he married her. It was an arranged marriage in India, and he brought her here, and then the journey, all you know. So I would like to invite Aaron for your remarks.
By the way, that Order of British Columbia and the honorary degree that we got, we got it together. And it's the first time that they gave it to both the husband and wife, and it's the first time that they gave to an Indo-Canadian, as well as, this Gora. So, anyway, I got very lucky when I had an arranged marriage and fell in love in that order to Ratna Stevens, formerly Ratan Mala Bugga. So, Millet ki jai ho! Millet, I'm no stranger to millet. I first was introduced to millet back in 1965 when I first came to Vancouver. It was being grown in Saskatchewan at that time. It was a yellow hulled millet, and I used to eat it for breakfast. It's very delicious. It's easy to cook. It's very nutritious. What I've subsequently found out, we've done farming. We have 4 factories. We process foods. We employ a lot of people, and millet has been incorporated in one of our popular cereals. It's called millet rice. We launched this in about 1992, I believe. So millet is a primary ingredient in this particular product. But it's also in one of our very best sellers. It's called Heritage cereal, Heritage Flakes. Millet has been part of that since about 1992 or 1993. So we've been big proponents of millet. Now, I'm really excited about ragi. This is that red millet. And if India has enough surplus that they would like to export, we certainly would be interested in bringing some of that product into Canada and into our US facilities and developing some cereals, some exciting products. We also own a company called Kepasa tortilla chips. So I could see an application for the millets in actually a kind of a tortilla chip millet type of product. So, I mean, there's lots of great things about millet. And one of the things that excites me about millet is that we are facing global warming. Millet uses 1/4 the amount of water that it takes to grow other crops like wheat and rice. So I'm really happy that the Indian government has had the vision to support millets, a return to millets, because as you know, as our Consul General has just stated, that the production and cultivation of millet dropped down to 3% of the total. And it used to be, I think, 13, and now it's driving it up to, what, 16%? Something like that, I think you mentioned today. So that's really exciting. The other thing that excites me, being an organic farmer and an organic advocate, is that millet can grow on very harsh soils, and it does not require pesticides. It's very pest resistant, and it also doesn't require chemical fertilizers. So it's ideally suited for organic cultivation. And I'm a very big proponent, not just me, but I say we, the royal we, my dear wife, is included, and all the 750 team members that make up our company. Millet, I was told way back in 1965 that millet is very easy to digest because it's very alkaline. It doesn't create acidity. It helps to reduce cholesterol. I think you know, we've already heard many of the benefits, so I'm not going to repeat all that. Okay, what else excites me about millet? It's a very attractive looking product. The grain is kind of a golden color, or it can be red, or it can be orange. It has many different colors, so I think there's lots of interesting visual appeal to this crop. It helps to lower blood pressure. It's supposed to be good for diabetics. It helps lower blood sugars. So many great things. And of course, gluten-free diets have have become ascendant in the Western countries. People have found that with the type of change in the way we grow food and eat food, that many people have developed allergies, gluten intolerance. And so here's another great application for millets, that it's entirely gluten-free. It's rich in antioxidants, it's high in protein, or moderately high in protein, may help lower cholesterol. So, summary. Millets are gluten-free grains that are rich in antioxidants, soluble fiber, and protein. As I said, my experience with millet goes back to 1965 when I was first introduced to it and enjoyed it as a breakfast cereal, cooked just like oatmeal. So millet has been grown in Canada since at least the 1960s in Saskatchewan. So it is adaptable to the Canadian climate. When we were driving through, I was with my revered teacher in 1967, and when we were driving through parts of India, Rajasthan particularly, and also in Madhya Pradesh, I saw this strange-looking crop growing, and I said, "What is that?" "Oh, it's bajra, or it's ragu," and it's so. I was wondering, what in the world is it? And then finally, somebody told me these are all forms of millet. So I was really excited about that, and I saw it growing in very dry, arid places where normally other crops would have a very hard time to grow. So I'm just going to wind up this, my little speech, and say, Millet, Jeho! Thank you.
Mrs. Stevens and Dr. Garg, you would all be now, you have enough food for thought. Now is the time for the food for your stomach, as he mentioned. So let me tell you that we have a specially curated dinner menu here, which is prepared by the director of F&B here in the UBC, Mr. Vishwa Mohan. And this is exclusively of consisting of millets. All the dishes have millets in it. So maybe I don't think there is any rice or wheat in that. So you can add to your knowledge that you can survive on millet stew. So it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks to for the event today on behalf of Consul General Mr. Manish, Ms. Preeti Gupta, and the Consul General. And first of all, I would like to thank Ms. Ratna and Aaron Stevens for their valuable support to the consulate for not only this event, they have been a constant supporter for many events. And for this particular event, from the point go, he and both of them were very supportive of the idea as such. And let me also share with you that the Nature's Path Foods have prepared and provided some goodies which for all of you take home. We thank them for the support for this event and for the continued support for all our events. Dr. Arun Garg, and I should mention the special mention to Mr. Stevens for his insightful talk on millets and his journey through India also. Dr. Garg, it was enlightening to hear you out on the value of millets and the role of diabetes. And as Consul General Sir mentioned in the presentation, millets go a very long way to reduce your blood sugar. So that was very enlightening. Thank you for that. And as I mentioned, I would like to thank Mr. Vishwa Mohan for this dinner menu that is created for us. And I'm sure you'll all relish that. Thank you, him, and especially the UBC for the venue that they have provided us today. And the members of the Consular Corps have always been supportive of our events. We thank them for taking their time out for the event today. Although if it's, this is a Thursday, not a Friday, as most of our events are. Thank you for coming. And thank you, each of you, for coming here and taking your time out and to support us and support the Government of India's initiative for International Year of Millets. And I'm sure we will all take back with us this valuable knowledge and go a long way in supporting millets as a major crop. Thank you. And now we can release our millet menu, millet dinner. Thank you.
Ultimately, today we are celebrating International Year of Millet 2023, and basically ultimate aim is to create awareness about this ancient grain. Somehow we have forgotten about it, forgotten about the health benefits of this millets. So the idea is to create awareness because it has impact on your healthy living. Eating millets reduces diabetes, blood pressure, and so many things which you have already seen during my presentation. But it also, if we grow it, it will be sustainable growth because it conserves water, it conserves the ecosystem, and it can be grown anywhere in the world with little rainfall. So it will help in food security of the planet. So in all, the idea is to bring to the common people the benefits of this ancient grain, its health benefits, its indirectly will support the farmers, the marginal farmers, small farmers, indirectly will support the change in the eating habits by mainstreaming it, and it will also has a business around this millets because a lot of research and development can happen. You can do your own startup, you can add value addition, you can process it, you can bring to your diet, bring to the table. So a lot of things can happen all around it. And I'm so pleased that a lot of people from Vancouver area has come to our function today, and it is really, really heartening to see
people showing so much interest in it. And I would like people through your channel to adopt the millet and support this initiative of Government of India by at least adopting it in your daily diet. And of course, whenever you have big celebration like marriage party or New Year party or other party, try to cook some dishes from millets. There are various resource books. Millets is available all over Vancouver. Our Indo-Canadian business people are importing it in huge number. You can buy millets sitting in Canada. Thank you.
Will your message be to the youngsters who are more into processed food and do not actually know the benefits of our own food?
I think youngsters are very smart. I think they are aware of it. So I think it is all about making the things available. So my message to them is that eat healthy food, and your contribution in the mission of India is very important. If you to support it, you can contribute also by becoming an entrepreneur, start up an ecosystem around production of millets, value addition to around it. And so there are various ways where youth from our country or the Canada or anywhere can support the initiative of millets. Thank you.
I think if you want to have millet become part of the life of the youth, you have to have products that really taste good. So you need to come out with various products that are healthy and also taste good. And that's what we've endeavored to do at Nature's Path. We've incorporated millets into cereals, and we've been doing this, for 30, 40 years, and people really like it. Now, millet is actually quite flavorful. It's fairly bland, but if you add maybe some spices and some different flavors in the way you process it, you can make some really exciting products that kids would love.
What will be your message to those who have never even tried millet just because they thought the Asian food is more spicy, hot, it's once in a week kind of thing and can't be adapted as a lifestyle?
I think there's a very big education process. We need to educate people about all the benefits of millet. We know that millet can be grown on less fertile land. It requires a quarter of the amount of water. Millet, I think there's a job here for the media and for PR, and that is to promote the great qualities of millet and also have some products, showcase some products that really taste good, and then you're going to get people to eat them. So there's an educational component. When we started in the organic food business, all we did was just educate people, tirelessly educated. If we educated one person, they would educate more, and then it just spreads in a network. So I think that's really that is the big task ahead of those who want to promote millet as a healthy lifestyle, to incorporate in their diet, and to also encourage farmers to grow it and processors to process it and distribute it. But there is a big marketing component that needs to be taken care of as well.
You've seen both sides of the world, as in for the farming in India and Canadian. And what is the biggest difference you've seen in terms of how they market themselves as an Indian farmer or Canadian farmer?
Well, I think farmers are not very good at marketing themselves. Farmers are too busy working
In both the countries?
in both countries. I was born in a farming family on Vancouver Island, and we also owned farms. But farmers are so busy trying to make their ends meet. They've got to store their seed, they've got to plant it, they've got to look after it, they have to contend with the problems of the climate, rainfall and all that. They're too busy to market their own products. So they need people like us to go and educate people about the benefits of millet. And then we have to make products that taste good. And hopefully we create some pull from the consumers to try the product. And then if they like it, they will continue to buy it and the demand will grow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.